What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the specs and features of the Samsung Galaxy S6 to the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. Now both of these devices were announced yesterday by Samsung and they're offering some nice features. Now a lot of you have asked me for this comparison just to highlight the key differences and also give you a roundup of the different features if you don't want to watch the long Samsung event. This way you'll be able to know the key things that you need to know in this short video. Now one of the important things I think to remember straight off the bat is the fact that this time around it's not like the Note 4 and the Note Edge, where the Note Edge was a bit of a background device, something that they were trying out and something that was not really aimed for the mainstream market. This is different because the S6 and the S6 Edge have both had equal coverage, maybe more so to the S6 Edge. So what are the key differences between these two devices? Well, do hit that thumbs up button and let's find out. So kicking off with the screen sizes, we've got the same screen sizes on both devices here, 5.1 inches. Now the Edge does go over, so you have a little bit more of a curved display, so it goes down to both edges, which makes it quite unique. Also makes it look very nice in my opinion. Now resolution wise, you've got the same resolution, so that's a Quad HD, so 2560 by 1440. That works out to roughly about 577 ppi pixel density. This is the same on both devices, one of the highest PPIs on any smartphone, so that should result in some very nice crisp and clear text and images. Now we do have some minor differences in terms of the sizes of the devices. So the Note Edge comes in 1.3mm smaller in terms of the height, 0.4mm smaller in terms of the width, but it is 0.2mm thicker. So with the S6 they have gone for a very slim build. I think they have deliberately aimed to keep it just smaller than the iPhone 6, which is the competition, and the S6 Edge is smaller in terms of the width because of the fact that the screen is the same size and it curves over those edges. Now there's also a difference in weight. The S6 Edge comes in roughly about 6 grams lighter compared to the S6. Both of these have a very premium build now, so you've got a metal frame with Gorilla Glass 4 panels on the front and the back. So this is supposed to be very strong. Even the frame they've said is 50% stronger than the competition. They even went ahead to take a dig at Apple and said that their devices are not going to bend easily. Now moving on to the internals, what's powering these devices, they didn't go for the Snapdragon, they went for their own Exynos chip, so that's an octa-core 64-bit processor, and it's also smaller compared to other processors, and it's supposed to be more efficient in terms of battery life as well as more powerful. We'll have to see these hands-on to have a look. Now both of these devices also come with 3GB of DDR4 RAM. Now the key thing here is that it is DDR4, so Samsung are saying that this is going to be a lot faster compared to previous models which use DDR3. Now storage options, you've got the same, so you've got 32, 64 and 128 gig on both sides here. They do use universal flash storage 2.0, which is supposed to be a lot faster compared to normal, but one of the things that we have lost here is the expandable storage, so we don't have a micro SD card slot on either. This is something we're used to seeing on all Samsung Galaxy S devices previously, so it is a big disappointment for a lot of people, and this may be one of the reasons why they haven't included this, is because you've got that universal flash storage 2.0, which is going to be very fast, and maybe this is the reason why they've not included it. You do have lots of different storage options available. However, in terms of the cameras, you've got 16 megapixels on both with optical image stabilization, so this is something that I'm quite confident with based on previous models. The Samsung Galaxy S5 had a great rear-facing camera. Now that you've got optical image stabilization, it's only going to improve that. You've also got fast tracking autofocus, so you are going to be able to get your focus on your subjects even if they are moving, so that looks quite impressive. You can also activate the camera by tapping the home button twice, and it's supposed to get it up within 0.7 seconds, which should be quite impressive. Video, you've got 4K video. Now this should be improved compared to the S5 because you've got optical image stabilization. So on the S5 you didn't even have digital stabilization at 4K, which was quite disappointing. So you do have this on the S6 and the S6 Edge. Front-facing cameras have also been improved, so you've got 5 megapixels from the front-facing cameras with an f1.9 aperture, so this should be very good for low light. You've also got a real-time HDR as well as a special low light feature, which should take a few images and give you better low light images from the front-facing cameras. Now moving on to the operating systems, you've got Android Lollipop, so this will be the latest version of Android with the TouchWiz skin on top. However, this has said to be cut back roughly about 40% cut back compared to the previous features, and it should really prevent that lag. Now from the demos that we've seen, can't see any lag. It looks very fast and snappy. We will have to try these hands on. In terms of the additional features, we now have a touch fingerprint scanner rather than a swipe fingerprint scanner, which we had previously. So that was quite annoying with the S5 as well as the Note 4, the fact that you had to swipe rather than touch. Now this is supposed to work a lot more like Touch ID, and you've also got Samsung Pay now, which uses NFC as well as MST. So this should make payments really easy. Once again, we are going to have to see this rolled out to see how practical that actually is. And now you've got your heart rate sensor, which you had on previous devices. I never really found myself using this much on previous devices, so I'm not sure how useful it's going to be. Now with the S6 Edge, you've got dual edges, so these come with some unique features. Now as you had with the Note Edge, you can see your time, for example, at night, so it will be at very low brightness, so it's not going to take up too much battery, and you can use it as your night clock. You're also going to get notifications right there on the edge without having to wake up the full screen. You can also select now which side of the edge you want to use, so for those lefties out there, you're not going to have to flip the device around. You can choose which side you want to use the edge on, and it's also going to be a bit more ergonomic, so when using the device and swiping from right to left, it's just going to be that much more comfortable to use. The other thing that you've got, which is quite unique and you didn't have on the Note Edge, is the fact that you can assign 5 contacts with different colors. So these are going to be easily accessible, and the different colors are going to be useful when the device is on your table, for example, and then it's going to glow at different colors for those different contacts, so you'll be able to know who's calling you without even picking up the device. So quite a nice and useful feature. Now moving on to the batteries, the S6 comes with a 2550 mAh battery. The S6 Edge comes with a 2600 mAh battery, so you've got a slightly larger battery here on the S6 Edge, maybe to compensate for those edge displays, which are going to require a little bit more power. Now these are not removable, so this is something else that Samsung have said goodbye to. You don't have removable batteries, so you're going to be stuck with the single batteries. So this is just something to bear in mind. It's not the end of the world, but the fact that you've got a smaller battery compared to the S5 and other devices, other competitor devices out there, this is just something that we're going to have to bear in mind. Personally, I would have preferred thicker devices with larger batteries. We are going to have to see the usage of these hands on. You do have wireless charging built in out of the box for both devices here, so that is definitely good to see. And you also have fast charging, so you can get from roughly 0 to 50% in 30 minutes, so that is definitely an advantage, and this is something that I use quite a lot on my Note 4, and it's been really useful. In terms of the pricing and release date, you're looking at a 10th of April release date for both of these devices. Pricing has not yet been confirmed. I'd expect roughly about £600 for the S6, and the S6 Edge, because of the additional Edge feature, I'd expect roughly about £650 or $700 and $750 in the US. Now those are just my predictions for the prices when the devices are released. So there we have it, the S6 versus the S6 Edge. Now personally for me, the S6 Edge is looking like more of a compelling option and a more attractive option, and this time around Samsung seem to have put all of their attention on the S6 Edge as well, rather than the S6. The S6 seems like a backup option. I think Samsung have done this just to be a little bit safe for those people who maybe don't want to go for that Edge display, who may be thinking that it's a little bit too different for them and they want to go for something more traditional. So this is the reason I think that Samsung have still included the S6. I think when it comes to the S7, we might just get a single dual edge display once it is more mainstream. And what do you think of the S6 and the S6 Edge? Which one do you think you'll be going for? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I'm going to be having full hands-on reviews of both devices as soon as they are released, so be sure to see those first. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below. Okay, if you're still watching, then that means you've not done one of those things, so you know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna go downstairs. See. Okay. There isn't really a downstairs. Anyway, so yeah.